Hey everybody, welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
If you're not familiar, this is a comic book show where we take 3 comic books united under a theme and then analyze them based on which one's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's also a little bit of a recap and review show where we tell you what happens in all the books. This week, we're doing Amalgam. That's right, the 1990s mega double comic book event where DC and Marvel crossed over, and not only crossed over, but squished together in a sweaty, writhing, epic crossover event in which they smashed their characters together and made amalgam characters. It's probably the first time most people have heard the word amalgam in their lives.
Oh.
So here we go. We got 3 of the flagship titles that were featured in the Amalgam universe. Legends of the Dark Claw, Amazon, and Spider-Boy, all the number 1s.
Dark Claw is, of course, an amalgam of Batman and Wolverine.
I thought we were missing a page first.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was like, no,
Nope.
that's the first page.
By the way, this is by Larry Hama and Jim Ballant.
Yes.
Ballant.
I've always pronounced it Balent. I don't know.
So we're instantly in the middle of a huge fight between Dark Claw and the Hyena. The Hyena is, of course, an amalgam of the Joker and Sabretooth. He's named Creed. You don't find that out until later, but I guess if you look at him, you could kind of figure it out. He's the biggest main villain for both of the characters that make up Dark Claw.
Yes.
And they're fighting. I don't remember why. It doesn't. They're in the Gotham Gazette.
Oh.
In the offices of the printing area of the Gotham Gazette, fighting on catwalks and such, and exchanging witty banter or
Such
attempting
that it is. Yeah.
witty banter.
attempting.
It's not really witty banter. Things like, "Are you gonna? What are you doing in the Gotham Gazette?" And like, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell you. This isn't 20 questions. It's what?" In the midst of the fight, we're introduced to
Sparrow.
which is the Robin character. I guess it's an amalgam of Robin and Jubilee.
Yes.
Yeah, so she looks like Carrie Kelly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like Carrie Kelly.
Literally just Jubilee in a Robin costume.
It's Jubilee and Robin.
But she's got her sunglasses, which look like the Carrie Kelly ones, but it's Jubilee
It
sunglasses.
is. It's
Jubilee.
just Jubilee.
Yeah. She doesn't have any powers, apparently. It's not really clear. She doesn't use
She
Jubilee
certainly
powers
doesn't
anyway.
seem to use any powers.
Yeah.
She has the power of annoyance.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they just fight. Like, nothing really happens. It's just a big fight.
Wait, you skipped the one thing I really liked about this book.
Oh, yeah? The
That.
splash page?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a nice
No,
splash
not
page.
that.
Oh.
The fact that they put the credits in the glass.
Oh, yeah. That is kind of cool.
Like,
And
that's
not even the
fun.
art.
it takes like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and then you get the what do you call it?
The credits.
The
The
credits
credits
page. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it does look cool.
It's like, that's neat.
It's actually too cool for this book.
Yeah.
Because nothing else in this book
Well,
is
it's
that cool.
the impetus behind the book. It's a cool visual.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess I should describe the look of Dark Claw a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
He's got Wolverine's claws, but in the claws, there's this little like cutout.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's supposed to look like a bat.
it's
it
supposed
really,
to be like a batarang and his claws met.
the bottom of the
it's
bat.
kind of like it's like the bottom of the bat.
Yeah.
You don't see the top of the bat anyway.
That wouldn't go in the right way.
No, it would not.
It wouldn't really work.
Not
I
at
don't know
all.
how you do it. This is the best you can really do, I guess.
Yeah.
He's got
This is the best at what they can do.
he's got a mask that has like bat wings on it.
And a little bat mouth.
It's
And
like
a little-
a bat died on his face.
Yeah, just like flew into his
Yeah.
face
And
and
then
just
it's
This is
died.
like,
fine.
this is a mask.
Or he was
now.
going 80 miles an hour and hit a bat with his head.
This is me now.
It's got the fangs of like bat, and like nostrils like a bat, and then it's
Yeah.
got a yellow like cap like Wolverine.
Oh,
Wolverine.
Darkclaw, what little pointy teeth you have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the way, he has fangs.
Yeah.
Darkclaw also has
Well, because
Logan.
Wolverine, has
Yeah.
fangs, like the way he's drawn, yeah.
Yeah, and just the mask has fangs. He didn't file his teeth down or anything. He has normal looking teeth. Oh, you think he has fangs teeth? Where?
there. Unless
I
that's the mask.
think
It
those are
looked
supposed
like-
to be the mask. It's artistic
I really
license. Who
Yeah.
knows? Because here his teeth look normal. So,
Okay.
you know,
Maybe I was
whatever.
wrong then. I saw the white and I was like, oh,
You're
God,
seeing
they
what
gave him
the
vampire
bad guys
fangs.
see when he's coming at them.
Yeah,
they just
that
imagine
means the
the-
element of fear is,
worst
is
horrors.
implicit in the character.
Yeah. So Darkclaw gets the upper hand, but as they're outside on a catwalk or whatever, on a ledge, but then the Hyena's goons show up. on
His
the,
pack?
His
Yeah.
the pack shows up on the
Pack shows up.
on
See,
the other
he's-
building across.
He's themed.
Yes, and they're just like assholes with guns. They just look like gang members.
That's as far as the theming went.
Yeah.
Right.
You got spiky hair, you got mohawk, and you got facial piercings.
Yeah.
Because they're disposable.
Yeah, and they just shoot at him, and then he runs away. Darkclaw runs away, and he jumps on the Batcopter, flown by by Sparrow,
Yeah.
You mean the Dark Claw?
Or the claw.
the Clawcopter,
Or the Clofter.
or whatever. As they're escaping, Darkclaw comments that like you have to be careful. Sparrow's gonna go in for a strafing run. I guess she's just gonna straight up murder these guys, and which I guess she would because she's like a amalgam of Batman and Wolverine's sidekick. So if he's Wolverine, he kills people, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah,
don't
but like
know.
Wolverine's always like really careful with Jubilee,
Yes.
so that's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
I don't know, but he's like, well, we gotta get out of here because they have missiles.
Right.
And then like, don't have time to think about that because now there's a helicarrier in the background. Like, oh, where's that helicarrier going for?
Let's not find out.
Well,
Yeah.
it's never brought up again.
Well,
not get
no, it's
involved.
like it's like implied what happens, but like Darkclaw doesn't care.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But like we're
It's
also
like, well, I'm moving on.
we're trying to like paint it against a rich tapestry of a lived-in universe.
Yes, and so every like second we're just getting more background, like over and over again.
They know
like-
there's only gonna be one issue of this entire universe. Yeah.
I guess we don't care
No,
about the collateral damage of those missiles.
Aren't they all to be continued?
They are all
They
to
are.
be continued.
Were
But
they?
are they?
No.
There's no issue.
They
to
just
that?
want to imply that
Yeah.
it goes on. They're
No,
not
there's no
actually-
issue 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
There-
just like, but like, because they reference books that don't exist.
Yes.
They have like asterisks. It's like as seen in like freaking Dark Claw 150. I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist. What are
I
you
know they're
doing?
trying to make it a fun little thing.
It's confusing.
Yes. Oh my god. So yeah, and also they did wind up doing second issues, but like not to these. It was more like let's see them again, and like so
So they're not direct.
no, not direct
sequels to the-
sequels or continuations of the story you're reading.
It's just like
Cool.
dropping in on.
Yeah, let's drop in on this crazy
on
universe that's
Darkclaw.
been around for like
We'll
70
call it
years.
number 1 though.
Well, it's number 1 for us, but
Right.
for the
But in
universe,
the universe that
in
they're
which
in,
this
it's like
book's-
130.
Who even knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going on forever. The ongoing adventures of Dark Claw.
that old chestnut.
It's a mess. So we get a character here in a cat suit.
It's Huntress.
It's Huntress. Yeah.
a Huntress
We don't
costume.
know right away.
Oh well, if you know Batman.
Yeah, I
Those
guess from the
colors are
mask
correct.
and the
Yeah.
color. Yeah. And she's got a bow and arrow. So she's breaking into.
To be fair, I thought this was a totally different amalgam of characters when I saw them.
Of course.
I
I
was
thought
like,
it was Catwoman and
Black Widow.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Huntress and
Carol Danvers.
Carol
Yeah.
Danvers. She's breaking into Logan's apartment.
Yeah, I love her breaking in. All right, I'm gonna hang upside down by a rope wrapped around my leg, and I'm gonna cut a tiny hole in glass, and then the whole window opens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like
What?
she goes through his photographs and gives us some like hints of a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like, well, he was raised as an orphan in Edmonton, Alberta. It's like, oh, it's a mix
Of
you know,
Batman.
you got Canada for Logan, you got orphan for Batman. But wait, there's photos of his parents? That doesn't make any sense. He was in RCAF, which is Royal Canadian Air Force. That's
Wait.
weird. I didn't know about that.
Wait, just because he's an orphan doesn't mean he can't have parents at some point. He has to have had
Yeah.
parents at
No,
some point.
you were an orphan.
You're an orphan
You
for
never
life.
had parents. I don't even know how you came into being.
What?
She sees a photo of him in Creed. She's like, oh, this is the mysterious Mr. Creed H. Quinn from before. Is that supposed to be a crossover with Harley Quinn? What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently.
Harley Quinn wasn't introduced in the comics yet, so
No, maybe is that Creed's last name?
Well, we don't know
no.
the
Creed's
Joker's
last name is Creed.
It's
It's
Creed.
Victor Creed.
Right, this is Creed Quinn. Yeah.
We don't know the Joker's last name or any part of his name, so
No.
we just took off Harley Quinn instead.
Yeah, that could be.
I guess.
I don't
Weird.
know. All we know is it's just establishing that he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she like opens the closet and his Dark Claw costumes are just like hanging there.
It's
like,
it's like
in
a lot
closet.
of them too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those ones, those closets with like, it's like wooden with like the slats.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no security whatsoever.
No, because
Oh, I found it.
The security was the window.
Yeah, the security was the outside the building. Once you get in, you've got the keys
Yeah,
to the
you-
castle. It's just like, that's ridiculous. And then Darkclaw jumps in and is like, hey, you're Huntress, a.k.a. Carol Danvers. Like, I guess showing that he knows who she is.
He's a detective, you see.
Right. Also showing the reader that her name's Carol Danvers so you understand which character she's mixed with, because otherwise you'd never be able to tell. This is a book that has lines like, how did you know who I was? I'm a detective, remember? And when I accessed your ultra file in the top secret archives, it turned out to be an elaborate fiction.
Unlike this
ultra
book,
ultraphile.
which is not an elaborate fiction.
No,
the
I mean
dialogue-
it is elaborate. I think.
Well, it's
Is
definitely
it?
a fiction.
I think the dialogue is the worst in
it-
this book
Oh,
than it
it's-
is in all the other ones. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, there's another one that I think is as bad, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
If not slightly worse.
Yeah, so they fight because he's mad that she broke into his house, which is fair.
Yeah.
That he implies that she's gone rogue. She used to work for the government.
Yeah.
Then he gives her his backstory. You see, he and Creed were part of an experiment.
It's just the Weapon X program.
It's just a Weapon X program, and
But it's like the Super Soldier Weapon X program.
yes, they're trying to redo the
make
super
Soldier.
program. Yes, and
Which is an Amalgam character.
Yeah. Yeah, we're establishing they're in this.
yeah. So that makes sense, I guess. And
But that comes up in other books too.
the objective was to create like a remorseless killing machine that would follow orders. And Creed was the success, I guess, because he
Yes.
doesn't have a conscience, whereas Darkclaw was a failure because he does.
Yeah.
Except Creed is also like a psychopath who doesn't listen to instructions, so that's also a failure. But whatever.
Well, I mean,
They failed on every conceivable
Yeah,
level.
they failed in both ways possible on the morality.
if your instructions for a killing machine are just to kill regardless of
Right,
whatever
but that's
else
not a
you
weapon.
use.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
not
exactly like they're not an
really-
anarchy factory.
I mean, it's more
Yeah.
of a grenade. It's not
Really-
a precise weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
Really what they needed to do with this facility was to amalgamize these two individuals
Yes.
into...
Merge Logan and Creed into
Yes.
one person.
That'd be cool.
And then you could have like half of him be weird and half of him be worse.
Right.
That would not be cool.
And then just try to slap the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one interesting point here that he makes, which I've never heard anyone make ever, and they always should in these types of stories, where he says they forgot one important thing about weapons. They're usually inert objects that can't get off the table, up off the table and do harm by themselves. Their mistake was creating a weapon with an imagination.
Yes.
Which I'm like, yes, that's always the
Yeah,
mistake.
that's
No
so
one ever
stupid.
acknowledges how dumb the concept of making a living weapon is.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it never works out.
No.
It's always a mistake, and they always come back to kill you.
yeah.
Like your announcement about the grenade, like yeah, that'd be fine unless the grenade also blows up and then comes back together and then kills the person who threw it. Like, because that's Creed.
Yeah. So he takes her down into his cave, which he calls the Barrow.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I think a barrow is an underground dwelling.
Is that where Wolverines live?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah. So there's a portrait of his parents. They were killed by a robber when he was 5.
Yeah, it's the Batman origin.
It's Batman origin,
Right.
but they're not.
I just love that he has
Martha
it
Wayne
down
and Thomas
there.
Wayne.
Yeah, and upstairs.
And
Right?
upstairs.
Like he's just like
Well,
I.
it's like a small version. He got the big prints and the small wallet prints.
like, I
Yeah.
don't want to forget.
Sears.
They have to watch me at all times.
That's right.
He also has a dinosaur skeleton.
So it's like
It's kind of like
the skeleton. They're the dinosaur.
Yeah.
That probably came from
Weapon X.
the Savage Land.
Oh, the Savage. Yeah. That was a real dinosaur that he murdered and
Yeah.
just kept his bones.
There's
Yes.
what, a giant dime down there?
Right.
Yeah.
It would be a loony or a toonie.
So then we get Sparrow in the cave, like, hey,
Where
what's
did-
she doing down here?
Where does he get the money?
Right. We don't establish that he's rich. Well,
No.
he's a connoisseur, an artist. Maybe he sells his
He's
art.
a- yeah.
He's also a jack of all trades, and he's an
He's a
inventor.
techno something.
Yeah,
Techno
he's
wizard.
probably made a
Techno
bunch of money
wizard.
in like the
Well, how
dot-com
did he?
boom.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm a
He
really famous
invented
artist.
something.
Look at all of my cool
He
paintings
invented
with
Monster.com.
slashes on them.
Pets.com.
Pets.com. There you go.
He sold it right before everything collapsed.
Yeah.
So
He's
made a bunch of
genius.
money on thin air. Sparrow immediately has a problem with this Danvers. She calls her a bimbo. What's that? What's this damaged bimbo doing in here?
She calls her worse later. and I
Yeah,
was
she
like,
does. It comes out of nowhere. She calls her a slut. She calls her a slut.
It's
for no
hilarious
reason.
because it comes completely out of left field.
Yeah, it's like, what is your problem?
Yeah, jeez.
Well, maybe the slut could aim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What has she done to you? I
Yeah.
guess there's backstory there. I don't
when,
know.
When she lands in the cave, she's like, what's she doing? Well, she has to die.
Yeah.
We have to kill her.
Yeah, because she came down to the cave.
Wolverine's like, Jesus.
Yeah. He
I'm
says,
sorry,
get real.
Darkclaw.
Yeah.
real.
Get real, kid. He says, what do you want me to do, Sparrow? Take her out in the woods and lose her? Well, yeah.
Yep.
Get real, kid. Insane.
Yep.
So he pieces together what the plot is because he figures out that Creed / Hyena was breaking into the Gazette to change the headline,
Yeah.
which is AF1 plus NaCN, which is a reference to Air Force One and a chemical, sodium cyanide.
Yeah.
So the idea is he was going to plant in the paper the headline of his deed that he's going to carry out that very night
Yeah.
to kill everyone on Air Force One with sodium cyanide.
It's like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to just like what?
Yeah.
Why not just break into the friggin' White House or something?
Well, especially when like they were able to just hack into the Gazette. So why'd they go there?
Yeah.
Also, like, they're gonna run that story anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe there's more details in the story that are like,
I think it's just the headline. He's
it's just like,
piece
ha
it
ha
together.
ha, I killed him, ha ha ha,
Yeah.
ha ha.
Like,
You're
look
reading my
how-
words now.
Well, it's Hyena's call for help to Darkclaw. It's like, you gotta
guess.
stop me,
Yeah.
Darkclaw.
I need to find
I don't want to
good
kill the
clues
president.
for you to find
I'm just a
me.
weapon.
Or it's
can't
like, it's
help
not
it.
fun if you're not there on the plane trying to stop me. Like, I do want to succeed, but I want it to be like a challenge. I don't know. Anyway, so we cut to Air Force One, which is taking off in 20 minutes, no time. And that way the helicopter has to fly in and like match speeds with Air Force One.
Yeah, so we get an exciting aerial chase.
Yeah.
Plus, we get to like demonize Darkclaw a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
Oh, what's that helicopter doing? Take it out! And you got to get out of here. And
Raising the stakes.
Darkclaw jumps into the landing gear of Air Force One as it's being pulled up into the plane. And he mentions, good thing aircraft aluminum is no match for adamantium.
Get it?
In case
We
you
didn't-
weren't aware,
we didn't, like,
his claws
merge-
were made for adamantium.
We didn't merge adamantium with nth metal or anything.
No, it's just adamantium.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're
Yeah, I assumed.
trying to merge it.
I
You're
was
like,
adamantium.
I didn't know.
Enthamanthium.
stop.
Darkclaw bursts up from beneath the wheel well into the cockpit. He just cuts his way in.
Don't worry, I'm here to help you.
And he insists that he's here to help.
like,
and they're like,
"Oh
oh
my
God,
God."
shoot him. So they shoot him.
It's actually pretty
No,
good
I'm
writing.
not the bad
Yeah.
guy.
Because Darklaw's a psycho and people are reacting in kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's weird is that he thinks that like
It's
they
gonna
won't
work.
just shoot him right away.
Yeah, which
It's
of
like,
course they do.
It's fine. He has a healing factor.
Yeah,
he
he has
does.
a healing factor, so he's fine.
It's
But
literally
it's
just,
the president's
it's
plane.
literally
Yeah.
just Wolverine in a bat costume. Like,
Yeah.
if there's no real Batman stuff,
No,
except that he has a
there's-
cave and then
and
he
he
dresses
insists
equally.
he's a detective.
He's a detective.
Right.
It's-
He said,
forgetting
We'll
I'm
take
a
his
detective.
word on that.
Well, I'm the detective because I'm the best at what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're
So
gonna detect. I'm
Also,
amazing.
I love that like every scene with a Secret Service man has one of them yelling and spit is coming out of their mouth.
oh yeah.
We have to know how urgent it is.
They're all screaming. Every single one of them is like,
It's just, they're going feral.
which is kind
just
of
like-
realistic,
It's
I
'cause the
guess.
pre-
I
President's
guess.
Bill
I don't know.
Clinton.
I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like
And there's McDonald's on the plane.
some of them shouldn't be screaming. I feel like they should be like, all right, we got to keep things calm.
They're
here. It's gonna
certainly
be
not
fine."
professional.
No,
which is
Martin
what they
is
should
just
be.
losing it, and I
Yeah.
just need to keep it together.
So the hyena is on the plane, of course, and he's shooting guards
We
and
don't even
stuff.
explain how he gets on it.
No.
He like comes out
He's
of the
just already
toilet.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. He's in the bathroom. They're like,
No,
search
he's
the
not
search
in
the toilet.
bathroom.
No, he literally explodes through
Out of the toilet.
I know. I'm like,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
what?
What?
How?
job.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
So who checked this plane?
Right? It's Air Force One.
Look at this look. I just noticed this. Look at the look of the president's face.
I'm in a comic.
Like,
Look, did you
as
figure
they're
it out
like
yet?
hustling him away.
Do you know it's me?
So he's got a mask on and he throws a
the
smoke
president?
bomb. No, I'm
kidding.
sorry. So Creed / Hyena has a mask on. He didn't bring any of his gang, by the way. It's just him.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they're all. No, they weren't caught. They got away.
Yeah, no, he needs
He just
them
didn't.
for
He
later.
didn't need the pack.
I guess he wouldn't be able to sneak them on.
No, he couldn't convince them to get in an airplane like septic system.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like,
There's only
that.
one bathroom, guys. You have to stay here at the airport.
Oh no. All right, Hyena.
Oh dear.
Good work. I'm gonna
So-
go find another job.
He throws his gas grenade, which is just like a dog's head with a mask on it.
Which
with
I
a
don't get the
fuse.
reference to.
I don't know.
It's the hyena bomb.
Get it? You know, like
Is
Joker
it supposed
gas.
to be the fish?
No, it's
No,
like no.
it's nothing.
Joker is like Joker bombs and Joker gas and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
so it's just it looks like me. It's my
Yeah.
face on a bomb.
right.
And then so Darkclaw cuts a hole in the plane so that it'll vent the gas from the plane. And Hyena's like, you idiot! Like you don't have a parachute, but I do.
Yeah.
And he's ha 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 as he pulls the cord, and Darkclaw plummets. But of course, he brought a helicopter, so the helicopter comes and flies under him, and then like tilts at the last second so that
Yeah.
he can grab onto
exciting.
the landing gear again. It's a pretty good move. And then next issue, this claw, this crossbow, which never happens, of course.
No, of course.
This is just a day in the life
Of Darkclaw.
of Darkclaw.
Truly a legend of Darkclaw.
Yeah.
Nice.
The legend of the time he messed up the president's plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did save him at least.
Yeah.
So
Neat.
As long as he gets sucked out of that hole he cut in the side of the plane.
no. Yeah.
He's probably fine.
Well, I'm sure a bunch of Secret Servicemen got sucked out.
Yeah,
They
they
were
got
all
sucked
like
out.
on
That's
top.
their job to
He
get
cut
sucked
a
out
hole
before.
the size
Yeah.
of a car.
Oh, it's just huge.
I love it.
It's like it's big enough for both of them to like side by side go out.
Yep.
Yep.
Amazon is by John Byrne and Terry Austin.
And Papyrus.
Of course, John Byrne wrote and drew it because he's a double threat. I know. Papyrus. Papyrus. This is a new font by this point.
Yeah.
So the idea
seen
is
that
that
shit
like
before.
Amazon is Storm in a Wonder Woman costume, but her name is Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
and she's never referred to as Amazon. She's not even from Themyscira. Wonder Woman, aka Diana Prince, is from Themyscira, but she's not called Wonder Woman. So keep that straight.
Yes.
Now, Storm in a Wonder Woman
Well,
costume.
Storm
can-
takes up the mantle of
She
Wonder
does.
Woman.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing?
No.
Yeah. No.
Also, it's weird because like Hippolyta basically like adopts Storm as Diana's sister.
Yeah.
And they have like a major rivalry.
Yeah.
Also, it's the 90s, and Wonder Woman at that time had like the worst costume ever, which is represented in this book. So it's not like an amalgam costume, by the way. That's just her bad costume from the 90s.
Yep.
Anyway.
On Storm.
So Storm's,
With a cape.
So Storm's flying around the ocean, and she gets attacked by Poseidon, which is like, okay, right on.
Yeah.
Greek gods and whatnot. Let's
Yeah.
do it. So Poseidon's like, what up?
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna drown you.
yeah, and Wonder Woman's like, I'm gonna fight you. And Poseidon's like, are you out of your mind? I'm Poseidon. So then he like,
Oh, but you've never met the fury of
Wait,
the Amazon.
hang on. She's like, what are you doing? She's like, you don't even know what it's like to fight an Amazon. And then she freaking like pees him, and then
and she zaps him, and he's like, okay, well.
well, he's like,
boom.
I underestimated you, and then immediately almost kills her. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
Like,
Oh,
he's
you hurt me a little bit.
he's like, I underestimated you. Till we meet again. Goodbye. I almost killed you.
Yeah. No.
I don't know why I retreated.
So he hits her with a storm, ironically enough.
Yeah.
She falls into the ocean and is immediately hit with trauma from her past as a child, which is very similar to any time they need to defeat Storm, where they refer to her claustrophobia. In this case, she has like hydrophobia because she's afraid of like drowning or whatever.
Because she was
Because
submerged.
she was part of a voyage, which we get the backstory about later. But for the most part, all we know is that like she almost drowned and she was rescued clearly by Hippolyta.
Yeah.
And she awakens in like an under cave lagoon type place, which is obviously Poseidon's treasure room. It's all the riches that he's plundered over the years from many sailors.
Because
and
he's a
whatnot.
dragon.
He's a dragon for some reason.
Greek gods like treasure.
Just like you know the old adage about Poseidon is that Poseidon is a hoarder of wealth and treasure.
Yeah.
And also attacks Amazon. So back on the mainland,
Ah.
we meet up with like
In
Storm's.
New Orleans.
Yeah, in New Orleans, we meet up with like basically Storm's family, and they're in a mansion
Yeah, it's like a mansion that
Big
was
house.
clearly
old
converted,
house.
like I
into
guess,
a,
in,
like
like
a orphanage or something.
I thought it was like apartments.
Yeah, I think it is apartments. Yeah, it is apartments.
Yeah.
So her friend Angelica and I guess the landlady.
I think it's Angelica's mom, but I'm not sure.
I don't. They
Very unclear
They
what's
speak to each
happening
other
here.
as though they are like associates, but not necessarily.
They don't
family.
live necessarily together in the
Yeah.
same house.
But we meet these fun characters, Angelica and this old lady.
And yeah,
Angelica wants to know where Aurora is. Aurora is, of course, Storm's alter ego.
Right.
She's like, I know that Aurora's in some trouble, so I'm gonna burst in.
well, she has like psychic flashes.
The Angelica.
She's a little bit
Yeah.
psychic.
Yeah, she's a little psychic.
She's very psychic.
Hey, she's psychic enough where her visions are never wrong.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's pretty psychic.
That's
So she bursts into
fairly
the room.
psychic.
Oh, the old lady doesn't want her to do it because it's a violation. She's probably going to lose her deposit. So they break into the apartment, and wouldn't you know it, Diana of Themyscira in her terrible Wonder Woman costume is there. And she's like already in there, and she's beaten badly, and she has some kind of like terrible secret that she wants to share. And she says,
She's also like kind of emaciated for some reason.
that's just the drawing.
I know.
And
Yeah.
she's like, Aurora, that's not you. And then she says, help me, and she passes out.
Tell me more about this story.
No, we'll never see that again. Ever, ever. So, Storm is back in the cave. Let's cut back to the real story, which is Aurora in the cave. Let's get some backstory about the backstory we were referencing earlier.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Aurora's in the cave, and she finds this like statue that's clearly of her. And she's like, wow, what's this all about? This reminds me of the statue, and it's the same statue.
In the scene that we see, he's like, I have the statue and it's brought me really bad fortune. Now we gotta get rid of it. I gotta toss it overboard like the heart of the ocean or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is.
He never meant to steal the statue. He
Right,
found
he
it
just-
as treasure
it was
on the
part of
bottom.
treasure.
Because he's an archaeologist.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What's
he's
he
just
gonna
like,
do?
this
It
is
belongs
awesome.
in a museum.
My
Go to
museum.
you! So, but anyway, they're fawning over the statue that was achieved by accident via the
Underwater.
collection
The
of underwater.
bunglings of this idiot.
Right. And Poseidon sees Storm holding the statue, and he's like, oh, you came to my treasure room and tried to steal something, and of course
take my stuff?
You're trying to take my stuff, and also he knows that like the statue has intrinsic connection to her, and he's like, how could you possibly not be meaning to steal things from me when you went for this one statue that matters in this entire collection?
Yeah.
And he immediately jumps to like the wrong conclusion.
Yep.
And Storm's like, Jesus, Poseidon, what is your problem? Like,
Yeah.
just completely, he flies completely off the handle.
Yep.
And then we flash back some more.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to like Aurora on Themyscira, and she and Diana are fighting over the fact that Diana's like, you're not even from around here. You were adopted.
Yeah, Diana kind of sucks. in
Diana,
this.
well, if Diana, this is actually revealing about Diana's character because John Byrne did work on the character, and it's the fact that if Diana is ever rivaled as a child, she will invariably become a dick.
Especially because she's a
know
clay
that?
baby.
Oh,
and
I guess
Aurora's at least a human being.
But
Well,
if we take away her specialness, she will immediately freak out.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, I guess it's kind of more or less like my mom made a big deal about forging me out of clay.
Yeah.
And then as soon as another kid came along, she was like,
Never mind.
Oh wait, this one can control the weather. Yeah, no, she's
I
gonna
didn't
get all
even
the
know
power.
that. I just had to save you.
Yeah.
well, she could feel it. She knew she was really powerful.
Yep.
Yep.
So then,
And
I'd be
she
miffed
even
too.
says like she has power almost matching Diana.
Yeah.
right.
So Storm isn't even more powerful than her.
Right.
Well,
But
clearly
she's just
she
passed
is,
over.
and she will end up
Yeah.
that because I'm guessing she bests in an unseen
combat.
scene,
We
like
never
she
see
bests
that.
Diana, and that's how she takes on the mantle of Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Is because she wins the combat.
right.
Or Diana disgraces herself by being a bitch.
She
I
just
don't
wanted
think
the
you can
bike
lose
shorts.
that one.
Well, she certainly gets them. So, so basically, Hippolyta shows up and she's like, "What are you complaining about?" And Aurora's like, "Diana keeps telling me that I'm adopted and like that I'm not even from around here." And Hippolyta's like, "Ah, crap, great. Well, nice job, Diana. Okay, so the reality is you are adopted and you aren't from around here. But let me tell you the story. So let's do another flashback within a flashback of a flashback. So we have a flashback of Hippolyta jumping in the ocean and saving Aurora.
Yeah.
And so and she's almost dead, but she's got a fighting spirit, and they use Themyscirian magic and medicine to bring her back to life. And they're like, okay, like you're important, and also they knew that they knew her name was Aurora because like, it was written on her like a piece of jewelry she had or something
She
like
had
that.
a little bracelet, probably a charm
it said
bracelet. or
Aurora,
something.
which means beauty of Africa. So in
No,
African.
Yes.
So in a language from Africa, it doesn't matter. So
According to this book, anyway.
right, exactly.
She like pieces it together because
She's
he's
like,
just,
wait a minute, like
he's
you didn't like the fact that I had the statue.
Yeah, and no, it wasn't just that, because he says something about, like, you are touching the statue that was on the boat that I ruined.
Yeah,
and she's
right.
like,
Oh, he
You wrecked
immediately
that boat?
whizzes it. And she's like, whoa, you wrecked the boat? And he's like,
yeah.
what of it? I'm Poseidon.
yeah,
I wrecked many
I did.
boats.
They took my
I
shit.
wreck boats, and I wear nets that have seashells on it. Fight me.
Yeah, like
What
what
else
would I
would I
want?
wear?
I'm freaking Poseidon.
Yeah.
So then he explains like how
This dick came down.
this douchebag shows up. He finds some nice treasure, which was
takes
at
my
the bottom of
treasure.
the ocean.
He's just
where
lying
I
in the
was
No,
like-
there was like an earthquake, and it like
Oh, that's
revealed it.
right.
And
Yeah,
he's
right
like,
shift.
he's
Like
like,
the
holy
mask.
crap.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
awesome. I'm taking some of this.
Because I was like, hey, that was mine.
Yeah, so he brings it onto the boat. Everyone's like, oh no, I've never seen, like the captain of the ship is like, the seas are angry this day, my friends. And
Like an old man trying to
Poseidon
return soup.
can't stop
Exactly.
him. All he can do is curse it.
Yes.
It's like I wasn't able to kill him.
Oh,
that
it's great.
day.
No, well, he sends the ocean to try to stop them, and they navigate themselves out. So Poseidon's like, okay, I can't get you, so I'll curse the item. And as long as you have the item, your life will be hard. Literally, your life will be difficult as long as you have it.
It'll all fall apart.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
his wife leads him.
It's pretty bad.
Like,
It's bad. No, it's just, but it's like it's
It's not like he gets like boils and stuff.
Here's the deal. The guy immediately, after like 3 significantly bad things happen to him, he's like, things gotta be cursed, I'm gonna go to the ocean and dump it in there. Like
he's like, I have to put it back.
But there are things that
Everything went downhill
Any-
since I got that damn statue.
any rational person would be like, these are just crappy things that happen to lots of people.
well, but he's a mariner,
His people are trying,
and
like,
they're
trying to convince him of
superstitious.
that.
yeah.
Although he's also a scientist, so like,
He's a
He's an
scientist.
archaeologist.
Yeah.
yeah, he's not a real.
But he eventually is like, I know how to fix this. I know
Yep.
how to fix this. I'm gonna just take this and put
Oh,
it back.
I'm in a story.
And they're
I'm
all
in a
like-
magical story. I
Right,
gotta throw this thing back.
And even his colleagues are like, "What are you crazy? Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Okay." So they go to the boat. He brings his family. No.
he brings
he brings
the colleague.
Well, Aurora's colleague is also. Or I'm sorry. The guy who stole the statue is colleagues with Aurora's family, and they all go.
Yeah, for
on
some
the
reason
ship.
they bring the babies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the baby.
Well,
Oh,
it's
let's
like
go on a
1,000
nice
people
trip.
on this ship.
And I
Yeah.
love how I love the characterization of Poseidon because he's like characterized and he's completely in character throughout. Where he's like he immediately happens upon something, jumps to a conclusion, and reacts in the exact most extreme and terrible way.
Well, no, this was his plan the whole time. He's like, I cursed you,
so that you'll come back,
Come back
so
to
you'll
the
learn a
ocean.
lesson.
No, so I can get you.
So I can get
Right,
you.
except like he's doing that to learn. He's literally learned his lesson. He's going to like basically
trying to
pay
fix it.
homage.
He doesn't want him to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
No.
He wants his crap back, and he wants him
Exactly.
to
But he's
die.
gonna- if you just
No,
let
there is
him-
no lesson. You get me my stuff, you still die.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
naturally.
I think
I don't
that's
know-
it. It's
I don't know
like,
if you
I'm
know
not
this.
teaching you anything.
I'm a god.
Yeah.
I'm like
I'm
sea
petty and
Santa.
terrible.
Screw you.
Yep.
So-
you
Like
took my
Hera.
shit, you die.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it. There's no lesson. I'm not teaching you shit. I'm killing you.
Exactly. So like you stay on land and things are difficult. You go in the ocean, you'll literally die.
Now
Even
you're
if
on
you're
my
doing
turf.
it in deference to me, you
Yeah.
believe in me enough to go return my stuff. Doesn't matter. So they go and they all die. And then
Yeah.
and what's it called? Poseidon's like, right on, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And she's like, that sucks.
That's
you
really
suck.
horrible.
Hey, how dare you say that?
No,
I
you
will
suck.
torture you forever.
Yes, I'll hit you with some seaweed. And so he attacks her with seaweed and like.
Okay, but this is like damaging seaweed. She's freaking
Oh
out.
no,
Yes,
it's
it hurts.
It hurts. It's like it's magic seaweed. It,
I
like,
assume it's like
is that
also like trying to pull her
razors?
apart.
Or
naturally.
maybe
yeah,
that
maybe
too.
It's quartering her.
It's just awful.
Yeah.
She
But,
screams
And
a
it
lot.
stings.
right.
Maybe it's
Like
stinging like
jellyfish.
jellyfish.
He doesn't say.
It's not.
and it
described.
doesn't even have like energy shooting off of it. It's just
And it doesn't say
seaweed
like
that's really strong.
The pain is more than I could bear. No,
No,
there's
we don't get it.
nothing.
We don't get any thought bubbles in this. But anyway, he says like, he basically says like eat it. Like he just says
Yeah.
a bunch of like godlike douchey
Now
things.
you'll be in pain forever.
And then she's like, no, like before I go, I'm going to say that you are the one who is the victim.
Oh my God! What? Stop!
Stop everything. Stop the presses. What are you talking about? Let me actually loosen the seaweed a little bit to
you can talk.
To explain it to me. Explain to me exactly how I fool. How am I a fool? Tell me. Tell me. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Please tell me. So she's like, okay, here's the deal. Nobody believes in you anymore,
Yeah.
and it's probably because you guys were all dicks.
Yeah. There's like 10 people that believe in you, and I'm one of them, and you're
And
like punishing
the guy
me.
who believed in you, who was going to put this back, you killed him. It's
Well,
like
he-
one of the. He's like, you killed 10%.
It's not
of
just
people
that.
who
He's just
believe
like
in you.
he was taking it to put in a place so he could educate people about you.
Right.
True.
So,
Exactly.
you know-
he had reverence for
And
you.
Good
instead,
work.
mankind withered in your presence, then railed back against you, and then surpassed you in intelligence and science. And so now, like, you're practically
forgot
irrelevant.
about you.
And forgot about you. So now you're trinkets in museums. Like that's what you are to people.
Children play with you.
You're right, and they like make up stories about you. And he's like, "Oh, you've cut to the quick, Wonder Woman. Your words were worse than any blade could ever cut." You know? And he just says like, "Well, that's messed up. I'm an idiot. You can go." And she's like, "How do I know that I actually did get to you? How do I know that you're not just gonna like forget about this and you're gonna be a dick tomorrow?" And he's like, "Would you please? I'm already learning a lesson. Just get out of here." And she's like, "Okay."
All right.
So literally,
I hate you.
The story is Wonder Woman is flying over the ocean. She falls in the ocean. She gets out of the ocean.
Well, Burns like I have to do an origin story because otherwise I don't know how to do
Well, because
this.
Burns like, there's no way I'm doing like issue 68 of an ongoing saga.
Right.
I'm introducing you to Amazon here,
Yeah.
who no one refers to as Amazon.
No. He does drop you into the middle of the saga with her friend.
Yes.
though,
Yeah. Oh,
which doesn't come up
that's
again.
that's the human element.
That's so
the
that you
grounding
know
story.
that she has friends,
Yes.
and you're in the middle of a story.
Well, and also
Wait,
like
how does she have friends? She
Her
was
alter ego
abandoned
does.
for a long
Because
time.
when
and she's
she-
on Themyscira.
yeah, because Wonder Woman
when-
left.
yeah,
Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman leaves.
and becomes a character. That's why
it
Diana
follows
is like, going
that
after
part
her.
of
She has
Wonder Woman's
we know Aurora has an apartment because like Amazon/Wonder Woman is a character.
I guess
who's
that's
been
it.
around.
That's to let you know that like she does leave Themyscira,
Yeah.
just like Wonder Woman does, and she does like build a life,
This is
just like Wonder
This
Woman.
is in every way literally just Burns' pitch for a Wonder Woman reboot, and he just changed the names. It is
Yeah.
a Wonder Woman story through and through. This is Wonder Woman encounters Poseidon,
Yeah.
and also there's some bullshit about the mainland.
Yeah.
Let's see some storm, control some weather, or do something. Nah.
A little
She
bit.
does a little bit at the
in the beginning,
beginning.
and then
That's it.
immediately gets her ass handed to her by Poseidon. Which I mean, fair enough. It's Poseidon.
Well, she would, so yeah.
But Storm was worshipped like unto a god, and in fact, because she was taken to Themyscira, we never get that origin anyway for her.
Right. I do like the amalgamation of the Storm costume with the Wonder Woman
I
costume.
love it. I think it's one of the best and strongest designs
Because
of
like
the
they
Amalgam
really
costumes.
did blend them. I
Yeah,
think
that's
cool.
Byrne. You know, well, he also knows
Yeah.
the character, so he's like he created the character and also drew it.
Yes.
So tell us more about Spider-Boy, Tiffany. Which, by the way, as a Spider-Man fan, I was the most disappointed by because I hated Superboy, and they merged him with the clone, and man, was I angry.
Yeah.
Spider-Boy by Carl Kessel and Mike Wieringo, which is kind of a shame
It's a very big shame.
because
And Carl Kessel's a good writer, which is like why
But, like,
this
What
book.
could
the
what happened?
art is not great.
No, well, it's rough. Waringo was just getting his feet wet,
Yeah.
and they asked him to draw at least 25 characters per page.
Yeah, and the colorist is doing nobody any favors in this book. So this book starts much like Dark Claw, where we just jump right into the action, where Spider-Boy is fighting Bizarnage.
Bizarro Carnage.
So it sucks immediately.
Yeah.
When he says Bizarnage, you're like, oh, I see what we're doing.
Oh, cool. Well, I can just put this in the garbage.
Yep.
But he's fighting
In the
Bizarnage.
Bizarbage.
So is it like that's where you put things you want to keep?
I guess it would be.
Well, I'm not putting it there.
Yeah, shouldn't
'Cause
Bizarro
I'm
take
not
it out
good
of.
guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, is Bizarnage a good guy then?
He's Bizarro Carnage. He should be good or something.
Yeah, except for the fact that he says everything that he actually means. Just in a
Occasionally,
dumb
and sometimes
way.
he does. I
That's
don't
because
know.
it's hard to write for Bizarro.
Very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very bizarre.
Yeah.
So anyway, we see Spider-Boy swinging into action with his web-shooting gun and his amalgamized costume of the Spider-Boy, like, look with the jacket and, like, the shield, but it's also Spider-Man themed, and it's just a mess.
Yes.
It's just a mess, and he's in, like, the Cadmus Labs,
Yes.
which is run clearly by individuals from the Fantastic Four, but not all of them, because as we find out later on, Sue Storm is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
in this, which isn't really an amalgamation of anything,
No.
except an idea they wanted to see.
But, by the
and
way,
does happen, I guess.
They merged the Fantastic Four
yes.
with another DC property called
Yes.
The Challenges of the
The
Unknown.
yeah, which is actually where they originated, like the idea from them came from in the first place. Like Stan looked at them and
cool.
like was like, we should do something like that here, but
Yep.
he changed them quite a bit. So anyway,
But the book, by the way, is called Challenges of the Fantastic, and it's also a book.
yeah, that's also a thing that's happening.
Which made me crazy, because I'm like, this is basically a Challenges of the Fantastic book with Spider-Man in it.
Yeah, so like this whole fight goes on and like nobody does anything to help Spider-Boy. They're all just like, oh no, we have to avoid everything and just don't help.
Every time Spider-Boy tries to like keep his eye on the prize, some jackass shows up and tries to divert him about a headline from the Daily Bugle.
Or gets
Yeah.
involved, or becomes
Pretty
a
much.
hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so immediately Bizarnage gets a hold of like the guy named Tom Harper, I guess that's what his little name tag he says here, and he's gonna like kill him, I guess, because like Bizarnage like completely just like it just loses his focus. Like he's just like Spider-Boy, wait, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like that guy.
That's kind of carnage.
He's
I
scattered.
guess, yeah.
It's very unclear what's happening.
It's a big fight, and like inevitably, Spider-Boy tricks Bizarnage into going into like an energy containment cell, and he's just locked in there. And then there, yay, we did it, awesome. And then they check on Johnny Storm, I guess, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And he's like,
I think I crushed my action figure.
It's an action figure, or
No, it's a person.
It's a clone. It's a tiny person.
Yeah.
It's a tiny clone of him.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's
So stupid.
clones.
Get it?
It's all about clones.
It's all about clones. Somebody let Bizarnage out. Who was it? We don't know. And then we see like Reed Richards Amalgam over there and like looking as evil as possible and having some inside thoughts about, oh, they'll never know. It was me who opened up Bizarnage. And then we go into Dabney Donovan's head, who's just like, and they'll never know it was me who's been feeding like Richards evil DNA.
Evil
Because that's a
DNA.
thing.
What does that mean?
It's DNA that's been evil. It's been raised on pure evil.
Yeah.
I shot it with evil rays.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's evil.
The hell?
Yeah.
Is this an Austin Powers book? What is
We're
this?
setting up shit we're never going to pay off. And I don't know if
They're just like, this is
Kessel-
what comics are like.
Yeah, I don't know if Kessel's like making a joke at our expense, if he's laughing at us.
Yeah,
is.
he's laughing all
They're
the way to
all
the
laughing
bank.
at us.
Yeah.
So then, like,
The sales of issue 1,
Yeah.
one and alone.
Sue Storm, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., shows up, and, like she and this other guy have been attacked by King Lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King Lizard got out during the ruckus with Bizarnage.
Oh no.
Because
Because
Well,
we
there's
defeated-
multiple-
we already defeated this. Now
It
what
was
are we
like
going to do
a
in the book?
containment breach or something.
Yeah, but like we have all this book left. We
Yeah.
already beat the bad guy, so
Yeah.
now what are we going to
And
do?
there's only one book we're ever going to put out. So
A
why would you?
Separate bad guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like Senator
fair.
Grimm's gonna put the whole like base on Red Alert and like get the challenges of the Fantastic and like the army and stuff like that. And Spider-Boy's like, well, how about me? I could do it.
Yeah.
let me do it. Come on, guys.
I just defeated Bizarnage.
I'm Spider-Boy. So they're just like, you have 2 hours to do it. And he takes off running along a wall because that way he's cool.
See, he has those powers that you like.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, like, we like, introduce some plot devices that we need to know about for later on in this book. So, like, he runs by Dr. Palmer, who has been working on this white dwarf star device, and he's just like, oh, I haven't had a chance to look at it, but like, I did kind of use it by accident, and I got shrunk down, I saved Princess Shatterstarfire, but like, anyway, you can check that out in Read Spider-Boy number 305, so do that.
Yeah.
Said no one.
That doesn't exist.
The best joke in this book is that they refer to like the 4 or 5 Spider-Boy titles that
Yeah.
exist, which is a great riff on the fact that there are way too many Spider-Man books coming out at this time. I think that's really clever.
That is funny.
Right?
And there were multiple Superman books at one point. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there were 4 Superman books, but Superboy was in only one of them.
Right. And so in this Amalgam book, we have Dr. Palmer and we have Hank Pym, who have not been amalgamized, but they're working together.
Yeah.
Which is when I was like, oh, why didn't you merge
Like,
them?
he's not Hank Palmer.
No.
Right. Or Pilmer.
Right? Like, it's just they're working together. One thinks that macro is important, one thinks that micro is important.
Yeah, and they're like reversed because one of them's like, I thought shrinking was the answer,
Yeah,
but bigoting is better.
Hank
Pym
Pym
likes
is like that. He's
bigoting.
just like, no,
What?
never mind. So anyway, then like Spider-Boy takes off and like he's like running down the hall and he's like trying to get to his like Spider-Boy mobile and like
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus is also there.
Dr.
Not
Octopus.
amalgamized with anybody.
Nope, it's just
No.
Otto Octavius, but
Otto
he's
Octavius.
also a good guy.
He's a
That's
good
the
guy.
twist.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
So like he helps him by like getting his car ready, and then like Spider-Boy's like, sometimes I wish he wasn't like a good guy because like he's really annoying. Like,
Yeah, I wish I could punch him like a bad guy.
You
Yeah.
gotta punch him in the face.
yeah,
What?
and it's like, okay. So then we see the first appearance of the Daily Bugle here. Again, not amalgamized.
No.
Nope.
Now maybe because it's the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle.
No,
we kept the Daily from the Daily Planet and the Bugle.
For the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
So it's Daily Bugle.
And
It's like
like,
J. Jonah Jameson is in charge. Is that
Right?
J. Jonah?
They're like, no, the universe is amalgamized, but the only character that's actually amalgamized is Spider-Boy.
Except
Then
it's
we
not
just-
even Peter Parker.
but that's not true because then we see others who are
that's
amalgamized,
true.
but not everybody's amalgamized. It's not
I'm
even.
saying there's
It's not
no
even like they
consistency. It's
like
amalgamized the
half
logo
merged.
for
Right.
the Daily Planet and
No.
and the Daily Bugle.
Right,
Nope.
like a trumpet that's blasting the earth out of it.
Or like it's over it. I don't know. So anyway, the other amalgam thing we see in the paper is they mention the X Patrol. JLX and X
really?
Patrol both came out.
Yes, those
And
are
what's-
actual
Are
books.
these
So-
books all in the same universe
Yes.
together?
So here's what's funny. I mean, like people go back and forth about whether or not Doom Patrol actually
Inspired the X-Men.
But regardless, so if that's true, let's just hypothetically say that Doom Patrol inspires the X-Men, and then later on, Morrison's Doom Patrol does a riff on X-Force, and now.
We're doing the combination of that riff of X-Force
But we're
and
not
X-Force.
doing that here because that's almost
That's a
more,
book.
That's a more interesting conversation.
By the way,
Yeah.
we will have that conversation in Amalgam Part 2.
Damn
Oh
it.
no.
There are a lot more
So-
Amalgam books.
So then we get the backstory for Spider-Boy.
Thank God.
Because, like, I know I'm sitting here thinking, how did
Yeah, but
these,
where did it come
how
from?
did this happen?
I've already met
I-
19 different characters. How about the protagonist?
Literally didn't care at this point.
No,
so
you're already done at this point.
He mentions Uncle Jen, who is AKA General Thunderbolt Ross, because when I think about calling someone a nickname, I think about shortening their title and then putting another title in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle General.
Uncle General.
Uncle
It's like-
Mr.
You know what? That's dumb. Uncle Jen.
And Mrs.
Yeah. Good old Uncle Adam,
done that?
short for
Uncle
Admiral,
Jen?
of course.
Yeah, Sister Lieutenant. Like,
Mr. Loot.
yeah, there you go.
Classic.
Aunt Loot.
So Thunderbolt Ross is
In charge
in charge of the.
of
So
another.
another super soldier.
Yeah, it's a super
attempt.
soldier attempt. He wants to recreate it. He's got a room full of like geniuses, like before Victor Von Doom became Doomsday.
Dr. Doomsday.
Dr. Doomsday.
Because they both have Doom in the name.
Yeah, so he's got
Yeah.
Dr. Doomsday. He's got that Dabney guy. He's got Richards there, right? They're trying to figure things out, and that's when they bring in Peter Parker, who is like an intern, college student, whatever, who has a theory on like utilizing gravity and like manipulating it genetically.
Yeah.
And so like, they do this crazy experimentation, and it ends up costing Peter Parker his life. But Superboy, who is a clone, is in a tube nearby, and it only affects him genetically.
Yes.
Even though there are other people who are really close to it, and it didn't get affected.
Yeah.
So he gets spider powers, but they're not really
No, they're not spider powers.
They're gravity.
They're gravity powers, but he can cling to a wall like a spider. You see.
So
Yeah.
therefore, I'll call myself Spider Boy, even though I
Yeah.
can also do like 30 other things.
Right, and I
Well,
can
he's
make
got
like
web guns.
gravity.
That's why.
Yeah, I really like
That's
the
the
spider
only
thing.
connection.
I
Right.
can't believe he has web guns.
And General Ross teaches him like
Would you
with
rather
great.
be organic?
He should just have. Well, there should have been a spider
does he have
involved with this.
guns
You
at
see,
all?
like
Right. What's the
The
combination?
Superboy use guns?
No. I think he
Then
does
what?
have a gravity
Look,
gun.
guns are cool, so we're gonna use them, but they can't shoot real bullets or lasers. They'll be webs. Yeah. There.
Yeah.
So then General Ross helps to like teach him about like great power equaling great responsibility, and then inevitably he dies in an alley to a burglar because naturally General Ross is just hanging out in alleyways.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably scoring some drugs and he just got murdered by
Right.
his dealer.
When he finally said that line, I was confused because I thought he was going to say something earlier before, like, you got to fight for what's right. And I was like, that's the phrase they're choosing.
Yeah.
They got to fight for what's
No, it's
great.
just the
Power
same
comes great
phrase.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just like General
Well-
Thunderbolt Ross would absolutely
Well, because
say.
he says that because that's what the original
Hey, it's
soldier
Uncle
taught him.
General
Like
Right.
he's just like, he taught me this, so I'm gonna teach it to you because I
Right.
look up to him. By the way, I don't care about the Hulk.
No.
No.
There's no Hulk yet.
not
Just letting you
involved in
know,
any
I
way.
die before I deal with that.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I guess.
Fine. That's
Sure.
why people like him.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I never had to be angry.
Yeah.
never
So
turned
then,
into a
like,
dick.
so Spider-Boy like totally gets over his death and is just like, yeah, I'm gonna fight crime.
But he wasn't really my uncle. I'm
Right.
a clone. I don't have an uncle.
I don't. Right.
I just
kinda
call him
tragic.
Uncle
Yeah, that
Jim.
test tube was more an uncle than General Ross was. Anyway, so he goes back to his like base basically, where we see like the Superboy part of it because we've seen so much Spider-Man stuff in this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where like he has like all these contracts for like action figures and all this stuff, and we see that like part that we saw in the Superboy book where it's just like, you know, they're trying to make all these deals for him and like
Yeah.
Hollywoodize him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's kind of what we see here. He comes to use his web launcher.
Yeah, it's a catapult.
He uses his web slinger to sling himself to the Daily Bugle
Which is, like,
because
funny,
because
because-
it's like a
because I have
slinger.
to set this up because I have to use it later.
Yep.
Why else would I have it?
Right.
Because if you don't see it, you're not going to believe me.
Yeah, because
that
never
it's,
mind.
that it's convenient.
I can manipulate gravity, but I have this special catapult that shoots me to my job.
That's right. Yeah. So
Well,
he goes to his job and he utilizes a matter transformer that like turns him
He
in.
just change his clothes.
No.
No.
It's just,
Well, because
Transform
I don't have time for that.
he needs to change his hair color because Ben Reilly has blonde hair,
Yeah. So now he's Pete Ross.
which is literally just a Superman character.
Well, but it's also like he amalgamized Peter Parker, and he took Peter's name because that's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
who made him what he is,
he's
and
a
General
photographer.
Ross's name.
Yeah, but he becomes Pete Ross, who is a Superman character.
So he's an amalgam.
who
of-
never worked for the Daily Planet.
Yeah, but this one does, so that's why he's an
So
amalgam.
it's Peter Parker and
and he's a
General Ross.
photographer, so he's Peter Parker and Pete Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, except Pete Ross is not a photographer.
And Clark Kent,
Yeah. Yeah.
all in one.
I don't know.
All we know is,
No, but it's Superboy, right?
yeah, right.
Right. So
He's
then,
half Peter Parker, half Clark Kent, half Pete Ross.
right. So
He's
then
Man Bear Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace reporter Tana Moon shows up.
It's not a matter with anybody. It's just a character from Superboy.
It is absolutely, and
All right.
she's just like, okay. I have to do some serious reporting. I think there's a secret facility outside the city. And he's like, oh crap, it's Cadmus. She's like, I need you to take a picture to bust this thing wide open. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
This was the character I thought was Lana.
I
was wrong.
it's
It's
Tana.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's just like, she's like, I'm reporting. See me report? Go,
Yeah.
go take the picture for me.
Well, a good
I'm
reporter
giving you
delegates.
instructions.
That's true. That's a leader.
So then J. Jonah Jameson shows up and he's just like, hey, Pete, great photos. Anyway, you saw today's headline. Next time's going to be even better. It's not just going to be about him loving the insect queen or whatever her name
Yeah,
is.
it's Insect Queen.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. It's
Insect
going to be
Queen.
about them getting married. Woo!
Yeah, he runs like a tabloid rag.
Basically.
they're gonna
It's
start a
even
hive.
worse than the Daily Bugle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then, there's like a call in about how like King Lizard, Big Lizard is downtown. King Lizard's downtown on the docks making like a ruckus. It came out of the river. It's tough as a tank and it can't be stopped. These are things that all the people who are being killed by him say. So then Spider-Boy like runs off. They're like, we need photos. Oh, where's Pete Ross? Anyway, Spider-Boy uses his gun and sings his song over.
It's just the Spider-Man theme from the
Spider-Man theme.
60s, but with Superboy bullshit in it.
Yep, so you can imagine how that goes. And he starts fighting him, and he notices that, like, he's having a hard time with it, and, like, that's when, basically a take on S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, but it's also kind of the Howling Commandos.
Yep.
Yep.
Sort of, and it's an amalgamation of at least one of them.
Right.
Because it's, like, Beppo
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Because the Howling Commandos are
Dum Dum
integral
Dugan.
to
Dum Dum
friggin'
Dugan.
Yeah,
Peter
it's
Parker's
Bibbo.
backstory.
yeah, Bibbo. Did I say Beppo?
Yeah, but I like Beppo the Super Monkey.
Right, so it's Bibbo and friggin'
Dugan.
Dugan. And at least that's what I assume it is based on his appearance, because
Right.
he's bald, but he's got the hat,
It's-
and he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He calls himself Brooklyn Barnes. So it's not.
So it's Bucky's.
So it's like Bucky.
but it's like Bucky too.
Jesus.
What the
It's another
hell
one
is
that's like 4
happening?
characters in one.
You just blew people's minds with a side character in one panel.
Yep.
Yep. It's just too many characters, and they're like, "Oh, watch out for the kid! Don't hurt him." I guess, but like, he's trying to defeat this monster who keeps getting bigger, and they're like, "Oh, what could be happening?" And then they realize that like King Lizard must have gone through Pym particles, and how am I going to stop this? Well, hey, remember that really stupid thing that we had a one panel reveal
the
of?
white
Bigger's
dwarf
better.
one.
Smaller's better.
No,
bigger's
the
better.
panel. The panel before that one.
before-
That didn't even matter. The one about the machine that he was supposed to test
The
out.
White Dwarf
White
machine.
Dwarf
The
one.
one that talked about Shatter Starfire and all that
Yeah.
The
stuff.
one that makes you small.
Yeah. That one that you weren't paying attention to because you thought it was just to make that reference to Shatter
Right.
Starfire.
No, it's actually.
Well, I got to get that machine, and then I gotta totally mess it up by getting it like ruined because it gets hit instantaneously.
Yes, he
and
picks it up, and then the next panel,
it gets
gets
smashed,
crushed.
and it's like, oh no, I don't know what it's gonna do. It's
Oh.
like melting
haywire.
down, basically. How am I gonna get it into his face, basically? Oh, remember that other thing that I have on top of the building, my web slinger
catapult,
that I had
yeah.
to use to. Now I'm gonna use that and sling it into his mouth because I can't use any sort of actual spider powers or gravity powers
Right.
or any
You can't
powers.
just throw it at
no,
him.
I'm just gonna use this.
He's a creature of opportunity.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
he throws it into King
Lizard.
Lizard's
King
mouth,
Lizard.
and he shrinks down to the subatomic level, and he's just like, "I'll get you," and he's just like, "Probably not." Anyway, then Doc Ock shows up, and he's
Yeah,
just
sure.
like, "Hey, Spider Boy, what's up?" And he's just like, he's like, "Oh, are you gonna tell me I'm a clone? Oh, I know I'm a clone." And there's a whole thing about cloning, and he's just like, "No, it's time for me to introduce you to Mary Jane Watson, who's also known as the Insect Queen." She says, "Face it, Spider, you just hit the jackpot." And she's like,
She's wearing the worst costume ever because it's clearly bee themed, but she's an insect queen.
right, well, it's clearly bee themed, but she has a spider on her chest.
Yeah.
And it's not an amalgam of anything
Spider
necessarily.
Bee. It's a picture
spider-
of their own throwaway joke
Well,
about
yeah.
him marrying the insect
It's-
queen.
it's
They're like,
Spider
wait, what if we
Beach.
put the insect queen on the last panel?
Yeah.
Well, what's that a reference to? Nothing.
Nothing.
The thing with the joke.
George
he made.
Tabloids.
To him meeting Mary Jane, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, who like...
but who's the bee? Who's
Whatever.
the
Shut up.
insect queen?
We're already having a good time. You're ruining our good
Why are
time.
you ruining it? Maybe there isn't it. This is where in some of the comics, well, actually, the insect queen is a character from DC. Blah, blah, blah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, person who I made
But
up.
like, regardless, it's like...
horrible.
It doesn't make any sense, and like Dr. Octavius is the one who's going to introduce him, and he's
Yeah.
the one who he's like, oh, you got to meet this person.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a blind date. He's going to
Yep.
set
It's
him
like-
up on a blind date.
Because remember, Peter Parker was set up on a blind date with Mary Jane.
I
and he didn't
know,
want to
but
avoid
not...
it.
Not
No,
to
but not by
Otto.
Dr. Octopus. But he doesn't have any family. He's dead. All their family's dead.
Well, because he was a clone, you say.
Yes,
so.
Because the clone doesn't have any family.
Which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly? The question we have to ask ourselves at the end of the show, based on what we just went over, let's throw out some nominations for good.
This is the good.
The Amazon is the good
Yes,
for me.
I concur.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
It's the only one I could stomach.
Well, yeah, and like
Right.
I was
In any
actually
way.
sort of interested
Yeah.
to see what might come next in a thing I could never
Yeah.
know about.
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
Yeah.
what's up with Diana?
Right,
I was actually
and-
genuinely kind of interested.
because
Yeah.
like Byrne weirdly takes this more seriously,
Yeah.
and he tries to actually
Yes.
craft a livable world, and I
Yeah.
think he's the most successful in doing so. Whereas the rest of these are just hodgepodges of ideas that came to them in like a fever dream.
Right. Well, they only had like 10 minutes to put it together. Burns also
Yeah.
like, my name's on this.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
always
how,
gonna be on
right.
it.
And while it probably is not his best work, like
No, he didn't spend a lot of time on it, but he
The-
spent
More
a little
time
bit.
than either
the other
of these
two are
things.
like
Yeah.
kind of shameful, like in how like da 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 they are.
I feel like they're like, oh, it's all a big joke. Like
I think-
Amalgam's a big joke. I'm just gonna write it like it's a big stupid joke.
Spider-Boy, I think,
I
is
wanna
a
read
joke.
that.
I think
Spider-Boy is a literal joke.
I think Darkclaw it got away from Larry Hama. I think he just was like, I think I got an idea.
like,
and it's one of those things where, like, you know how you think you have a really good idea, and then you're like a third of the way through the idea, and you go, this was a bad idea. There's no way I can do this. But you're
already
underneath
in
the
it.
thing that you're trying, and
Except-
you're like, oh no, I got something, or I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna be actually worse off than I was when I started.
Except that's like happens to him on the first page. Like after the first page, it's just
it shouldn't have taken him that long
No,
to figure it
because
out.
the success of
Well-
Darkclaw is that he looks cool. The first page is a slam dunk because he looks cool in the
Then
first
they
page.
got that great credits page too, so it's like, yeah,
yeah,
rocking and rolling.
but the credits page is only cool because of the actual credit placement.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's
actually-
like, but look, the hyena looks fucking awesome.
No, he doesn't.
No, he looks stupid as hell.
Sabretooth never looked that dumb.
what if I
Sabretooth looks like an asshole luchador.
So So for me, Spider-Boy and Darkclaw are written almost to be like, hey, don't think that Amalgam's a good idea.
Right.
Just read
Right.
DC or Marvel, even though this could be a great idea.
They want it to fail.
That's just it. I have the opposite idea. I think that this was written like that. Or I'm sorry, I thought this was written competently, where there's like, oh, this is going to be good. And then it's like, but it's not.
Like
Right.
they
They
tried to
seriously
make it
tried.
They gave a
this is a
12-year-old
joke.
this
And they're
idea.
like, oh,
No,
it's a joke.
I think-
Let's just make it a
Yeah,
joke.
herp dirt.
This is total herpaderm.
I
This
think-
is,
well,
this is
it's-
a tongue-in-cheek.
this
firmly.
is tongue-in-cheek, but it's, I don't know. It's just...
Well, Spider-Boy is tongue-in-cheek, or Superboy is tongue-in-cheek.
Yes.
So it fits.
And Spider-Man
With-
is
But
also
see,
the same way.
no,
Not at
but
this
he's
time.
not at this time. And like, my issue with this book is how little Spider-Man is in it.
It's
not
unforgivable.
It's like,
This might as well be called Amalgam. And it's just, take a look at the universe. This is everybody.
Yeah.
Look at-
except it's not, because it's just like,
But he's got an Uncle Jen.
Get it? And Insect Queen is Mary Jane.
Yeah. So see,
Look
it's
at all
totally
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Like Peter
Yes.
Parker's in it, and then he's vaporized.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it a second of these.
Yeah.
Look,
This
I got to get all the jokes out now.
Yeah.
Darkclaw is just Wolverine wearing a Batman costume.
Easily. No.
And who says he's a detective. So it's like the same, like it's like,
Well, no.
and this is just Storm.
This is just Storm. This is just
no,
Wonder Woman in
but
a Storm costume.
It is. Well, no,
That-
it's Storm in a Wonder Woman costume. I
Yeah.
think this is a better Amalgam simply because of the fact that they're like, okay, I'm going to make her a mutant. I'm going to keep her as Storm. It's
Storm.
Aurora, but
But at least she was raised by Amazon.
I will tie her to that, and she does live by that as well. Like, we see her, like, being like, I'm not going to stand down against Poseidon because that's not the Amazon way.
Right.
And I'm just-
Right.
For me, it's like, except I didn't merge any of the characters. It's just, what if Storm lived in the DC universe?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Diana is also there.
And she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like,
But
there's
actually-
nothing X-Men about it, except that Storm's in it.
Yeah.
Right. And but the reason I accept that the most with Storm is because, as you said before, Storm
Was a god. Or
was a
worshipped
god
like
and
unto
has
him.
like done
Right.
her own thing occasionally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she bails.
Yeah.
She bails sometimes.
Darkclaw is like some 12-year-old won a contest. They were like, write a comic book.
Yeah.
And they were like, here's the idea, now go write it. And that's what it was. Like, this is some child giving their best valiant effort. And it's just like, you can't fault them, except that it's a grown man.
Except it's
who
not a
I've met
child.
at multiple Comic-Cons. And and I know he was an adult when he wrote this comic book.
Yeah.
What's a
But
shame
it-
is that the best character out of all of these is Sparrow. Because it's just Carrie Kelly.
Right. Well, it's just Jubilee in a way better costume.
I do kind of like Sparrow because she's just so
She's
anti.
hilarious.
I
and
have an
just
stupid.
for no reason.
I have an
It's
issue with
amazing.
that because she's not an amalgam of anything.
No.
Like, it just looks like Jubilee in a Robin costume,
Yeah.
and her personality is neither of those
Yeah.
characters.
And she's just a dick.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
she's
nobody.
Batman's apprentice, so
I'm
she's looking
She's gonna
I'm
be
a
a dick.
sarcastic teenager. I'm
Right.
a teenager. That's what she is.
But she's like a crazy teen.
She's not any teenager
Right, and
we've
she
never
kind of
seen
makes
before.
a Negasonic Teenage Warhead reference when she's like, I wanted to be called this. And
Yes.
it wasn't that name, but it was something
but it was
else
something
ridiculous.
equally
And I'm like,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
and I just don't know.
I think
So-
Darkclaw is worse than Spider-Boy. I think Spider-Boy is reprehensible, and I nominated it in the wrong box. I think it's the worst thing ever. When this came out,
Wait, you said
Wait,
Darkclaw was worse.
no, Spider-Boy's
Okay,
worse.
Spider-Boy's worse than
Spider-Boy's
Darkclaw,
worse than
you think?
Darkclaw.
Okay.
When I read this, I bought this off the stands. I skipped these because I like Spider-Man, and I was like, and I never finished the book in 1990, whatever.
No.
So this
And-
one like hurt you.
This one sucks. Like, yeah, it hurts.
Tell us who hurt you.
Spider-Boy.
Carl Kessel.
Yeah.
It's the worst, and I feel
I
so bad.
Agree.
I also agree.
Okay.
It is wrong box
It is
material.
wrong
through
This is like
and
this should be the
through.
cover of the wrong box.
This is just.
Is it worse than Is it worse
disaster.
than the Heckler? Like, I think so because it's almost as incomprehensible. The Heckler is at least gross. I'm like, ugh. Like, I feel.
Well, the
Heckler
Heckler's,
at least does
the
a
Heckler is
thing.
its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Heckler's at least an original
terrible,
idea. This
but
is just
this
a
is supposed to
nightmare.
be like doing a thing, and it's failed.
Yeah.
It
There's
does in
so
every
many
way.
ways it could have been like
Funny
better
or cool.
Like easily
Anything.
better. Call the lizard Killer Lizard. Now it's Killer Croc and the Lizard.
Right.
Right.
But King Lizard,
That
you're
took me a
forcing
second.
people to
Like-
try and put it together.
Jesus.
King
Bizarnage?
Bizarnage.
Bizarnage? Why?
No.
Why those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Kessel was like, well, obviously Spider-Boy's not going to sell this book. I have to put all these other characters in it.
It's like they were arguing over who gets to do what book, and Carl Kessel wanted the challenges of the Fantastic book, and they were like, no. And he's like, well, then I'm just going to put them in the Spider book. I don't know. I would love to know. I'd love to know more background about these books from the creators and like
Yeah.
talk to them about it. Maybe we'll have to like invite them on the show and we'll just be like, explain yourself, Carl. Explain yourself.
What happened?
By the way, also Superboy wears sunglasses, so like it's not even like he's putting the Spider-Man mask on because he has to have some kind of eye covering. Wrong boxed.
Yep.
Amalgam, everybody. You know, people have a real soft spot for the Amalgam universe because they.
Why?
You'll have to let them know.
Not because of these books. Maybe
No,
because of
I
these.
think
I picked
it's
these because he's a
because
flagship title.
well, because this is a representation of a time when these two companies could work together, and I
That's
think
true.
that's
That
where
is
the soft
nice.
spot comes from because it's
Yeah.
like remember when they actually didn't fight with each other?
Yeah.
and by that I
Remember
don't mean
the garbage they
Because
made?
the reality is, like, remember when they were both in the toilet and
Well-
couldn't make a dime? So they were like, if you get your dime, and I'll rub my dime against your dime, and hopefully we'll get another dime out of it. Like, that's. But at the same time, I feel the same way. Like, I want them to bring back the Amalgam brand.
but like give them more time. Well, I feel like
Only to let them work together.
Yeah,
and
because what happened out of the DC versus Marvel crossover plus the Amalgam universe also resulted in some of the best crossovers that Marvel and DC ever did.
right.
Because they
Right.
were also like, hey, let's do some crossovers. The problem was, and it's the problem with all the crossovers and these, is that like most of the people that worked on the other books, like these are the flagship books, but the other books were mostly just people who worked on the books that were coming out at the time. Like the Daredevil type book, which is I think Assassins, was done by D.G. Chichester. Like, it's just the same people who are working on the same books.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, no. Just get the best people, not the people who are currently working on that title at the time.
Right.
But, like, they couldn't see the forest for the trees.
yeah, and also and like I don't know because I don't know much about the process. The Amalgam, these in particular, strike me as they were like, okay, we got to do this right now before someone changes their mind.
Right. Someone is going to renege on this deal.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to, like...
get it out.
Just get it out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, plus we're doing like 6 titles or whatever.
also, okay, so it's DC versus
So we don't have
Marvel.
time to put into any one.
It was 4 issues. Issues 1 through 3. In issue 3, they get merged. These have to come out
Right.
when issue 3 comes out. So issue 3 comes out, all the Amalgam books come out. And then it all
gotta be
gets
ready.
remerged in issue 4. So like we gotta be ready in a month, like within the month, to get these books out.
Yeah.
And they published like a lot of books. So this isn't the
How
end
you
of
doing
Amalgam.
on Dark Claw? Well, I got an idea. It's not all there. Well, you got to finish it.
Well,
it's due tomorrow.
Well, I need it by tomorrow.
What the hell is that?
Those
More
spikes.
the
That's
bracers.
yeah.
It's just
You can
poorly
see them
drawn.
in a few.
Oh,
in a few
okay, they
shots.
are poorly drawn. Oh, and I
Yeah.
see them over here because those are better drawn. But that looked like he just had spare claws that he was
Yeah,
just,
'cause
Yes.
he's doing
just
the-
dangling
in a
from
lot
his
of
belt.
shots, they just looks like
By the
more of
way,
these,
like you
so I didn't
said-
even notice them. I thought they were just the claws on his other hand in
Yeah.
some of the angles.
Because I spent a lot of time looking at Darkclaw, like the fact that he has like the little bat loopies in the claws. If they went in, they'd stop.
Right, they get caught
They
all
get
the
caught
time.
all the time.
They'd come out like part way. Like,
That's
oh,
why
geez,
he
hold
has
on.
When it's really
I gotta-
rough, he has to
Yeah,
bust
there we go.
open his forearm every time he takes them out.
That's why he has them out for most of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really can't bring them in.
fuck
or
you,
I'll
I
get
want to
stuck.
put them in.
If I'm buying a Wolverine book, 70% of that book had better have his claws snicked. But if I'm buying a book where it's Wolverine and Batman, claws 100% of the time. No time. I'm never going to see this character again.
Yeah, he's got to always have them out. Why waste an image of him with the claws retracted?
So
Yeah.
when they're doing these books, they're going around the office room and saying like, "Hey, how many characters you got in your book? Oh, I've merged like 3 or 4 different
Right.
characters. Oh, that's great. How about in your book? Oh, I've got like 5 or 6 merged. How about your book? I just grabbed like 20 characters.
Right. Or they're trying to one-up each other. Like, oh
yeah.
shit, you put 5? 5? How about a dozen?
In fact, you know what?
It's just every panel.
30.
Yeah, every panel has a new merged character.
Please don't.
I've already done it.
I already
It's already
did
on his
twice.
desk. It's already on Bob Harris's desk.
I don't think you understand. I've been working on this for 7 years up here.
There's no way that's true.
It
because this
was-
would be
It
cooked.
would be way
It's not.
better.
It's not cooked. Put it back in the oven.
Yeah. By the way, fun little also postscript to this is that Bob Harris was the editor-in-chief on these books, but he was the editor-in-chief of Marvel at the time, but now he's the editor-in-chief of DC. So Bob Harris is the true Amalgam character. Spider-Boy, wrong box, Amazon, the winner, the
Yes.
good, if you will.
The good.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to thank you so much. And let us know in the comments down below, what 3 Amalgam books should we do for Volume 2?
Ooh.
Because I have them all.
I bet Doctor Strange Fate's going
boy.
to come up.
Doctor Strange Fate is like implicit. You gotta have
I
something.
don't
'Cause we
wanna
can't-
do that.
You can't do Bullets and Bracers, Challenge the Fantastic, and Assassins.
Well, what about
It's not gonna
X-Patrol?
work. X Patrol, that's a good one.
When are we doing this?
X Patrol. That
do
was
you
a
mean?
good
Like,
one.
when are we doing Volume 2?
Oh, I'll let you know when you get here.
I'm gonna be sick that
Nope,
day.
when you get here, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be ready a week from now to do this episode.
You will be. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly here on Comic Pop. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, click the bell to get notifications, and we'll see you then. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks for watching.